Grassley has done for a very long time, and that's part of what has given him that reputation as someone who works for Iowa. I have been thrilled to be chairman of the party with Senator Grassley as my senator. I can't tell you how much I've appreciated from the time I got elected chairman to today and going forward, how eager and happy he is to help any time the Republican Party of Iowa is asked. And I don't think he gets thanked enough. So please join me in giving him applause.
I probably was, but it was
Thank
bad.
you very much.
Huh? I was, but it was
Appreciate the
bad.
opportunity of being
I don't think it's
where
right.
enthusiasm is demonstrated in a quantifiable way by the large number of people that have turned out here to hear
There should be
Senator
one at every home.
Rand Paul. And thank you very much, Rand, for coming to Iowa again. And thank you very much for being a senator of principle and fighting for those principles and standing on those principles and not being able to, not being afraid to talk even for 13 hours at a time. Well, you heard Congressman King and our state chairman speak about the senatorial election coming up. So I hope that this once-in-a-generation opportunity we have of maybe having 2 Republican senators in the United States Senate, and that's only happened 4 out of the years that I've been in the United States Senate, of doing that again. So if I, tonight, as well as the next 18 months, concentrate on that issue, I hope you understand that it's something I'd really like to have you join in this effort to do, to get a Republican senator from Iowa, so my vote, it will not be canceled, as is rightly stated. You're here. Tell you the basis for my concern about this, and that concern goes directly to everything you're concerned about. What's the future of our country? You know our model for our state, you know it. Our liberties we prize, our rights we will maintain. And that's just like our shared values of Iowa's Republican Party. Life, liberty, the right to keep and bear arms, individual prosperity, or you might say just honor, what our constitutional writers had in mind. Uphold the Constitution of individual liberty. A constitution written to protect us from a government that people in 1787 knew that they couldn't trust because of what King George brought to the colonies. We have that freedom, and it's our job to maintain it. So we have this opportunity, once in a generation, to seize a historic moment. It's our destiny as Republicans to put an end to Washington's overreaching, and that overreaching is probably more of a problem than even the overspending. You know, we're facing another federal train wreck in just 5 months, when on September the 30th we'll be hitting a debt ceiling and face either default or government shutdown. And remember, this president added $6 trillion to our national debt. So Washington is long overdue to get its fiscal house in order and get rid of a liberal U.S. senator and getting giving us a Republican senator will go a long ways to change that. We know that the stopgap spending measures and the sequester hysteria is a colossal leadership failure. And remember, that sequester idea came directly from the White House, and now they don't want to own it, yet they want to complain about it. So, that brings me back to where we started. Iowa needs another advocate in the United States Senate, and winning Iowa's open seat for the first time in a generation will get us back on the right track. And speaking of train wrecks, and Congressman King made this very clear, there's even a bipartisan coalition in Washington calling the implementation of Obamacare that train wreck. My friend in the other party, Senator Baucus, is retiring because he's so fed up with the possibility of this thing being a train wreck. And he spoke of it, as you know, the quote, when the Secretary of HHS was before our committee. He said its implementation is going to be a bombshell or a train wreck, but that's the bombshell that he left. It's a shame that a train wreck even left the station a couple years ago, as Congressman King has made very clear. In fact, I found out the hard way how you can't trust this president. And that was on August the 5th, 2009, after we had been negotiating some on health care. He called 6 of us to the White House, 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans. And that's after 9 months of trying to do something in a negotiated way. And he said to me, would you be willing to be 1 or 2 or 3 Republicans to help us get a bipartisan bill passed? And I said no, because we were working real hard for all those months to try to get something to pass the Senate 80 or 90 votes. And I said you could ask Senator Baucus that. You know, I used to get phone calls from him, even on my cell phone. He hadn't called me once since then. Do I care? No, I don't. Obamacare takes bigger bites out of our paycheck, and obviously is going to get between the patient and the doctor, destroy that relationship. It's more important than ever that a Republican Senate majority is there to do what Obamacare doesn't. You know, Obamacare didn't legislate, it delegated. 1,693 delegations of authority for the Secretary to write regulations. You think you can read that 2,700-page bill and understand it? No, you can understand it, yes, but you don't know what it does until those 1,693 pages of regulations get read, and you know there's only a few dozen of them written yet, and there's 19,000 pages that stack up 7 feet high, so you don't really know how it affects you yet. So, you know, this all boils down to who do you want to make decisions affecting your wealth, health, and security? Do you want an elected representative of the people, or do you want some faceless bureaucrat? Now that's the key difference between Republicans and Democrats in the Congress. We think people know best. They think Washington knows best. We believe in representative democracy. They believe in dictatorial democracy. That's what bureaucrats do. Let's consider immigration for an example. First and foremost, Congress needs to secure a border. That means any immigration reform bill must preserve the rule of law. We can't afford to repeat the mistakes of the past. And I want you to know I learned a lesson, and I want you to know that I and we screwed up in 1986. We legalized 2 million immigrants. It did not solve anything because we didn't secure the border, even though we thought we were passing legislation that did secure the border. Today, we have 11 million people who come to our country illegally. The lesson learned, you reward illegality and you get more of it. The simple answer is, in 1986, even though with the best of intents, we screwed up. Beyond immigration, our time to come is time to simplify the tax code, to go the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Republican from Michigan, said, the tax code is longer than the Bible, but there's no good news in it. So it's time to grow the economy, no to wealth redistribution, yes to wealth creation. And it's time to promote homegrown energy. That pipeline is an example. Or drill here, drill now, drill in. Another time to keep our military strong and to hold this administration responsible for Benghazi. Yeah. Republican senator, but I forgot one point before I got there. It's another issue that bothers me, making all these education decisions in Washington. We need to keep Washington's nose out of our classroom. Federal tax dollars as a carrot to leverage more control over what is taught in the classroom is coercion, plain and simple, no common core. Let me skip a paragraph and go to the final point. They're going to charge me $100 for every minute I go over here. Get back to where we started and the need for a Republican senator. This is going to be my main goal over the next 18 months, and hopefully it'll be yours. I know we have to re-elect a governor, we have to re-elect a state legislature, we have to re-elect congressmen and elect some new congressmen, but a vote in the Senate is worth 4 in the U.S. House of Representatives. I hope you know that. That's a quantifiable answer. I can prove that even if I don't get the budget balance. So all of these things I've talked with you about tonight, a Republican majority in the United States Senate will make that happen. And in Iowa, we have this once-in-a-generation opportunity, and we have a historic moment to double down in the United States Senate, and I look forward to working with you to make that happen. Thank you.